For years she had been my rock, the person I believed was destined to share my life. We had woven a tapestry of memories, dreams, and plans, building a future together that felt unshakable. But that illusion shattered the moment I discovered her infidelity. The pain was searing, but her reaction when I confronted her cut even deeper, leaving wounds that refused to heal. It all unraveled on an ordinary evening when I returned home earlier than usual, a nagging unease twisting in my gut. As I stepped into the house, I noticed her phone vibrating on the kitchen counter. It wasn't unusual, so I dismissed it at first. Lately, she'd been distant, her warmth replaced by a cool detachment I had chalked up to stress or a passing phase. How wrong I was. On impulse, I picked up her phone, and what I saw stopped my heart cold. A string of text messages from an unfamiliar man stared back at me. The words were unmistakable. She was planning to meet him the following day. There was no room for misinterpretation. She had been carrying on with him behind my back, and the betrayal had been festering for months. When I confronted her, her face drained of color, but she didn't flinch or beg for forgiveness. No apologies spilled from her lips. Instead, she locked eyes with me and delivered a blow that stung worse than the infidelity itself. "I am not yours," she said, her voice steady. "I never was." Those words echoed in my mind, each syllable a dagger twisting deeper. Hey, how could she say that after everything we'd shared, after years of laughter, tears, and promises, this was her truth? I stood there numb, grappling with the wreckage of our life together. She must have sensed the storm brewing inside me because she tried to justify herself. But her words only fueled my anger. "I never wanted to be chained to one person," she said. "You don't get it. I need more than you can offer." Her confession was like a slap, each word stripping away the love I'd poured into her. Something inside me broke. I had given her my heart, my trust, my everything. And this was her repayment. A cold dismissal of all we'd built. I couldn't let her walk away thinking she'd won, thinking I was weak enough to crumble. Taking a deep breath, I steadied myself, refusing to let her see me unravel. "You're right," I said, my voice calm but laced with steel. "You don't belong to me. And I'm not going to plead for someone who doesn't want to stay." Her expression softened for a fleeting moment, as if she expected me to collapse, to beg her to reconsider, but I didn't. Instead, I walked to the door, my resolve hardening. With every step, I had to hold it together to show her I wasn't the broken man she thought I'd become. "If you're not mine," I continued, "then you have no claim to anything I've built. You know where the door is? Pack your things and go. We're done." Her eyes widened, shock replacing her earlier confidence. She opened her mouth to argue, but no words came. She hadn't anticipated this. My refusal to fight for her, my decision to let her go. For the first time, she saw the weight of her choices reflected in my unwavering stance. She stood frozen, her gaze flickering as if searching for a way to undo what she'd set in motion. She'd never seen this side of me, a man who had always been gentle, patient, and forgiving now, stood resolute, offering no mercy for her betrayal. "I can't believe you're doing this," she stammered, her voice trembling. But I could see the panic creeping into her eyes, the realization that I was no longer hers to manipulate. "Believe it," I said, opening the door wider. "This is the end." She hesitated, her feet rooted to the spot. There were no tears, no desperate pleas, no trace of remorse. Instead, she stared at me with an expression I couldn't decipher. Regret, perhaps, or disbelief. Finally, she turned and walked out, her steps slow as if she couldn't fully grasp the finality of the moment. I stood in the doorway long after she'd gone, the silence of the house pressing against me like a physical weight. My heart still ached with the sting of her betrayal, but beneath it, a quiet relief began to take root. I had reclaimed my power. I wasn't going to let her trample over me any longer. The weeks that followed were a haze of routine and reflection. I threw myself into work, into rebuilding a sense of normalcy. But her face haunted me. I wondered if she felt the weight of what she'd done, if regret ever crossed her mind. Then I reminded myself she didn't care. If she had, she wouldn't have betrayed me in the first place. One evening, As I sat at a diner nursing a drink, my phone buzzed with a message. It was from her. "Please, I messed up," it read. I was lost. "Can we talk?" I stared at the words, a wry smile tugging at my lips. The woman who had shattered our life, together, who had walked away without a backward glance, was now pleading for a second chance. The irony wasn't lost on me. She had underestimated me, assumed I'd always be there waiting. But I was done waiting. I took a deep breath, savoring the newfound strength coursing through me. With a steady hand, I typed the simplest, most liberating response. "No, it's over." I hit send, set my phone down, and leaned back in my seat. For the first time in weeks, I felt unburdened. The chapter of my life with her was closed, sealed shut by my own hand. She had thought she could break me, but she was wrong. I was stronger than she ever realized, and she would never have the chance to hurt me again.